There we go. Okay, this is the June meeting of the Trumbull Community Television Commission. We're going to call the meeting to order at 8 o'clock. We do have a quorum, so we're going to go ahead and move forward, and if other people join, that'll be great. Public comment. Is there anybody waiting in the lobby to talk? Okay, so we have the May minutes, which I sent you earlier. Any corrections or additions or changes? I need a motion first.
I'll make a motion to approve them.
Thank you, Jens.
I'll second.
Thanks, Vince. All right, any other corrections, changes? Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. As we talked about at last meeting, Ed Gillespie has moved away, so we need another member to the commission. We had two people we were going to talk to, Derek Sterling and Amanda Wendt. Jens, you said Derek does not have time to.
No, it's a no from Derek.
From Derek,
Amanda
okay.
is still, as Laura mentioned, is still a potential.
Okay, so Laura's mentioned it. Jens, you're going to follow up with
I'm going to follow up.
Okay, super. Okay, any other ideas? Okay, so just keep me in the loop if something happens, you know, if you can get her committed or she wants to talk to me.
Yeah.
I'm happy to
Yeah.
do that. Then we just got to get her paperwork, you know, got to talk to First Selectman's office and do that part.
There is actually another person I want to ask who would be a great candidate, but I don't know where he stands politically.
Okay, let me think about the makeup. I'll send you an email. I don't have it handy right now.
Okay.
With the makeup.
Are you saying that Amy is not responding, or do we need to?
Yeah, I need to reach out to her.
Because we need 3 for a quorum, right?
Yep.
So
Right.
it's getting kind of close.
Yep.
And I have not seen her either, so I can't, I haven't spoken to her either.
That's right. She lives over your way.
Mm-hmm. True.
Okay, so I will get the breakdown of who's what.
Mhm.
Okay, anything else on replacements?
No.
Okay, let's move on to finance. 2023-24 budget. We're on track. We've got 2 more weeks to spend what money we have left. Which is there's a good amount left in our programming supplies. So Laura's thinking about some things she might want to get before the end of the year. So I would say unless they're more than a couple $100, we should talk about them. Yeah, we should talk about them if they're more than a couple $100.
Okay.
But like I said, we have plenty of money. I'm gonna do a double check with all the videographers and remind them, we like to get, hey, is Courtney still, Courtney?
She just graduated.
Yeah, because I didn't get her May
Okay.
bill.
Okay.
I was gonna reach out to her and ask her. So she just graduated? Is she going away?
She is. She's going to, oh gosh, I can't remember where she's going. Up in Boston. She's studying communications though.
Oh, nice.
Yes. Not Bentley. Gordon College, maybe?
Well, we should see if she wants to continue to participate in some way on breaks or whatever.
Yeah, I always ask any, graduates, like Drew always comes back. So, and I'll go into detail when we get there, but I will make sure that all the videographers have sent in their invoices.
Hi,
And then-
Jeff.
Morning, Jeff.
Go ahead, Laura, sorry.
And I'm sorry, to clarify on the financial, I know that you had sent an email and said, go for it. I had mentioned 2 things. I don't know if you want me to go into detail now, but I just wanted to clarify if the go for it was for both items.
I
Or if
believe
they-
so,
Okay,
but email me later and we'll.
okay.
I'm pretty sure that's what I meant.
Okay.
Okay, any specific questions anybody has about this year's almost finished budget? Okay, so next year's budget, town council did approve it with no changes, so we got what the Board of Finance recommended. Our capital stuff, we're gonna, as soon as we get clarity on the last of this ARPA money, I believe, Bill, that we're gonna try to work on. Hi, Jeff. Maria said after after the budget was done, then I could pick up that conversation with her, which I will, and we'll figure out what we're doing next.
Right there, we're working on trying to figure out how much money we have and what projects are still remaining to do something with. So it's moving along.
And
All right,
Kate,
so-
the intention for the ARPA money was the studio TLC quote to replace the streaming encoder and the UPS and those other items, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, get that taken care of. Okay, any questions on finance?
No,
Okay. All right, programming. Laura.
First of all, I just want to thank Jeff for all of his help because this year, knock wood, graduation went off and it worked great. Yeah. Oh, thank the technology gods. I teased Pete. I said, you know, you're going to be sitting next to me every June. Like, you're not going to be allowed to move for graduation. I don't know if it was just having him there, but he's like, yeah, it's fine if I just sit here and, you know, be here for moral support. I said, I would rather you do that than, you know, scramble trying to get in touch with you guys. So,
I think the hardwiring was probably the best thing to do because it's going to be consistent.
Agreed.
You're not kind of, you know, worried about any kind of inconsistencies and everything. As long as the Bluetooth doesn't have an issue, you should be good.
yes. Yes. So the Bluetooth worked. Everything worked as expected. You know, the only thing that was like less than ideal was some places along the line, the audio dropped out, but it wasn't anything on our end. All the cables were connected. So it just could have been something from the audio vendors, or who knows? It could have been the cables. It could have been, you know, things that we can't control.
I think it was an awesome effort. I mean, really considering
Yeah.
all the moving parts, just fantastic.
Yes.
And
Thank
do
you.
we have numbers on TuneIn?
Probably I can check right now, but I know that last I checked yesterday, I want to say it was around 1,200. And it's only been up for a week. I mean, we had several hundred people viewing. We didn't have, you know, I mean, again, there were several hundred viewing day of. I have a friend who, you know, her children graduated last year, but she watched and she said that it was, you know, she tuned in and everything, it was great. Everything looked great, sounded great. So that's always nice to hear too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, and the crew was fantastic. Drew was very excited to be stationed where his sibling was. I don't know, I think his mom had posted, Drew got a very cute selfie of him and his sibling, like when they got their diploma. So it was nice for him to be able to be there for that and help us out too. So it was a nice win-win. And then Garrett, who's one of our new videographers, was over on the C House side where the audio feed comes in, and he's fantastic. Mike Hoggett had very nice things to say about him, and he was spot on for all of them. Definitely a great addition.
That is great news.
Yes, and then Matt was with me up in the control room helping out, you know, just monitoring the feed. And we had set up a fourth camera this year on top of the press box, just for a big overhead shot, just as sort of, which was hardwired into the hub, which again, just in case,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so it was a nice cover shot.
Great. Really
Yeah.
nice job, you guys. Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah,
Thank you.
definitely.
thank you. The only, in terms of programming, we are still we had so many sports events covered that we are just finishing up. We're still not completely done with the high school end of year events. So we're just running like, you know, graduations and award ceremonies. And then we still have quite a bit of adult education to run, which will be nice because instead of running repeats in the summer, I mean, we'll have the concert with the weekly concerts, but we will also have quite a bit of adult education events to run first time rather than just running repeats.
Nice.
Excuse me.
Okay, any other programming news?
The only other thing that we did that was not, I don't want to say out of the ordinary, we've done it for the past 2 years, is the food truck wars. So Christina Rosati, who's the business education teacher at Trumbull High, invited TCTV down to come and record the kids. So I did that. They had they set it up a little differently this year, which I thought was really smart. They had all the savory foods in one classroom and the sweet foods in another. And what they do is they pair up baking and culinary 2 classes pair up with the marketing, the advanced marketing classes, and they pair up in teams. And so there'll be some students from marketing and some students from culinary or bake. And what they're charged with is coming up with a food truck, and they have to execute that from start to finish. They have to decide what kind of food they're going to have, what the menu is. The marketing has to design the truck and you know, design the menu and all of the marketing related materials. And then the culinary students or the bake shop students create the food. And then teachers and staff, usually it's a lot of other business students at the high school, and then faculty and staff come around and can purchase items from the trucks because there's actual food, which is really cool.
Love
So-
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I got a little, you know, I always get a little bit of information from Chef Wojtek and then from Christina. And then that runs as an interstitial with throughout programming throughout the year.
So is this a competition? Like, do they need judges from our commission to come over and try the food?
I think this year what they did, I think they go by sales. No, but I seriously, I mean, they
I
went, I
would
think they
love to see this.
But seriously, like I could ask, I mean, I can't imagine that it would be a problem for you to come in and check it out and, you know, buy some sliders or whatever, al pastor tacos and some churros and
I just love the combining of the class, you know, the different disciplines. That's so smart. Just
Yes.
that's how real business works.
and it's great too, because again, it's like, you know, it's real world stuff because there are people out there wanting to purchase their items. So, you know, come on, guys, let's get more product out there. We're running low. So it's a lot of real world, you know, safe real world experience.
Very cool.
Yeah. And you know, again, I've been trying to do more of those things. So I always welcome any opportunity, as I always say, to let the students look really good.
All right, awesome. So let's move on to technical.
Yes.
PH Studio, we had 2 new cameras.
Yep. We use those at graduation. They're nice and tiny and work well. One thing that I would like to add to them, which to kind of loop back to finances, was I think it would be nice, because I know Garrett brings his own, a remote control, like not a remote control, but you know, like a remote Zoom, which could attach to the tripod. So instead of putting your hand on the camera to zoom in and out, it's just something that attaches to the tripod to zoom in and out. And so that way it's a little less, because sometimes if you go to put your hand on it, you'll hit the microphone and you'll make a noise and you might shake the shot a little. It just makes the finished product look a little more professional. And I think I saw some that were they're about, you know, $75 to $100 a piece.
Is that all? That would be well worth. I mean,
You could spend way more, but
I know that. That's why I'm
Yeah.
surprised. If it works well, then definitely.
yeah, I went on to B&H again. I went on to B&H and I looked at the top rated and I tried to find something and I found a couple that were around 75 that were well rated. I mean, everything always, people complain about everything. Like there's
Oh yeah.
lemons for every product, but you know, I try to go by things that have at least 4-star ratings.
It sounds like a good investment and we have money in the budget right
Yeah,
now.
and
so
I, yeah, I think it's something that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay,
And otherwise, everything else, knock wood, has been moving along pretty swimmingly. The other technical thing, which Jens is aware of, the Sling Studio equipment, which is our live streaming equipment, I absolutely love it. However, we've had it since the pandemic and Sling Studio no longer exists. They were bought out by Dish, but they are no longer a thing. I sent an email,
Mhm.
bounced back saying, "Oh, this domain no longer exists." So they are kaput.
Jesus.
Well, it turns out that while doing some research, I suspect that they weren't making enough money because it seems that other products like LiveU has a pro piece of equipment, and I think it was TVU, I think, have something, and they're like $20,000 plus. And I think our setup was like $3,000 or something. So I'm like, well, that could be why. So I've been looking into a product called YOLO Live, which sort of works as the hub. We would need a few more things. We would need some wireless transmitters and receivers for the cameras. So the solution may not be as elegant as Sling Studio and as, all in one. But I am doing a little bit of research in terms of what we need and roughly what it costs. And Jens, when I figure out what to me makes sense, I'll let you know. And then please let me know if I'm overlooking any pieces or looking, if the equipment I'm looking at, we should look at a different brand or types of things. But just so you're aware, right now I'm looking at that YOLO Live. I think it's the Pro Block. And then like some Hollyland transmitter receivers for the cameras.
Yeah, they tend to be somewhat expensive, but they work really well.
It seems to be about $500 a set, like for a transmitter and a
Okay.
receiver. I have to see, I have to find out, like, do we need multiple, is it a 1-to-1 or can 3 transmitters send to 1 receiver? I haven't gotten clarity on that yet.
I believe they work 1-to-1. The
Okay.
last one I did. So, but yeah,
Yeah,
I'd be happy to look at that too. And as far as the other thing goes, if we've had it for 4 years, it must have been written off by now. I mean, just financially.
Yeah, I think you can still purchase, like, I see it I see Sling Studio listed as a vendor on B&H when looking for this type of equipment, but which is interesting, but
Mhm.
Again, there's no support. So if we buy a piece of equipment that's not working properly, we might be out of luck.
All right,
Also,
so
if we
I
have
think-
the Holy Land kit, or the pair transmitter and receiver, you can hook it up to any camera that has an HDMI out. You don't have
Right.
to have any special stuff. So you could
Right.
use it in the studio, you could use it, just tons of places.
Right, we
And
can
with
use,
different cameras,
yeah, that makes, we're no longer like, we get out of the Sling Studio ecosystem and it's platform agnostic, and then we can just sort of replace pieces as we see, as other things come up.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we're totally using all Sling Studio equipment. So if one piece goes down, then you would have to replace it with the same thing.
So,
It's worth looking at, definitely.
yeah, we definitely gotta look at it and we gotta
Yes.
sort of figure out what the package would be, because I would wanna at least take a shot at going back to the town and saying, "Hey, you got any extra ARPA money? You got
Yeah.
another project?"
I don't, like I said, I don't think it would be a $20,000 solution. I think it would probably be under 5,000. Does that sound right, Jens?
I would think so, depending on how many cameras we want to
I'm
support.
presuming 3 or 4, 4, the same way we do it now.
Mm-hmm.
It seems that, we could, one of the cameras could be hardwired with an HDMI. So if we got 3 transmitter receivers, I don't think it would be I mean, I don't know if the laptop we just got for the studio for the teleprompter would work. We may need something a little more, you know, we may need a laptop because some of the, depends on if it's Windows or Apple, if we could still use the iPad, that'd be great. So I have to look into that as well. But I'm hoping that like to keep it $5,000 or under.
So the most expensive, I'm on Amazon. The most expensive one is $1,500 for the YOLO
Oh,
Live. That doesn't
yeah.
include the Holy Land.
Right. It's about, there's B&H has one for 1,600 that has like the shades, and then it's like a cage, and there are sort of like wire,
Mhm.
you know, like little loops to hold the wires.
All right, we'll figure something out again so that
Yeah.
if we can figure out, I'm a little concerned about Sling Studio not being available to support, should we
I
have
mean,
an
like I
issue.
said, knock wood, it's been working beautifully, but I have a feeling it's going to work beautifully until it doesn't.
Right. So we need to know
Yeah,
what
I'm trying
our,
to,
what our
exactly,
solution is.
exactly.
Okay.
I want to have something, you know, I want to have a plan for all the pieces that we would need for when, you know, when we feel that that needs to happen.
All right, good, thank you.
You're welcome. So, but like I said, $5,000 is my goal for the max.
Okay,
I think that's doable, just looking at the pricing for the other
Yeah.
stuff.
And even if we need a laptop, I think that's still doable.
okay, so any other technical issues? Everything at town hall's working, council chambers is working fine?
Knock wood, everything seems to be working.
Okay, good. All right, marketing and PR.
I need to touch base with Katie, and I also need to follow up with Jean about Adobe Stock to get the social media stuff going. And then, excuse me,
I sent the stuff in like more than a week ago.
I know. I have to follow up on that because I find that some things have to go through the process, and now that I guess people are taking vacations now. So
Okay.
I'll
All right, so
follow
we
up.
need to,
Yeah, I need to touch base and find out what's going on.
what was that the Adobe stock, right?
Yes, which is an add-on to our
Yeah.
subscription. And then the other item, again, which I had mentioned earlier when we were talking about finances, which I realized after graduation would be really, really nice to have. We have these beautiful cotton peak polos. However, they're not very, I mean, it's cotton, but it's also that nice thick cotton. So when you're on the turf, it's not cool or too breathable. So I don't want my, you know, so I thought at the end of the day, I realized, you know, dry fit polos would be really nice. So
That would also work for summer sports if they have to be outside, right?
exactly.
All
Yeah.
right,
So
so you're gonna
anybody's
go ahead and make that
Right.
purchase, right? Okay.
right. So yeah. Yeah, like Richie could use them for the concerts. Yeah, the company who did our hats and beanies came back with a quote in like an hour, which was fantastic. So yeah, we're gonna go and pursue that. So thank you, Kate. I'm sure my videographers will be very pleased not to have to wear a thicker,
Yeah.
the polos are great, but again, like I was like, I guess I didn't really think this through about graduation. So
yeah, I'd say let's do it and hopefully we'll get them quickly.
yeah. Well, the hats came quickly too.
Yep. Okay, Trumbull High connection.
Well, again, and the school is out. So, but
Yeah.
I have to say, again, Jeff, I cannot thank you enough. You've been super supportive with the station, and that's really, really appreciated, especially with graduation.
Oh, thank you. Like I said, especially even when you do the remodel, I would like Jose to be kind of involved a little bit, just so when you have problems, I mean, we won't be, he won't be an expert, but at least he can give you, kind of a little guidance. Maybe you should try this, or maybe you should try that, and it helps us, like if you have an emergency, to be able to
Right.
be reactive for you.
Absolutely, I will definitely do that.
That's awesome. Yeah, to make the collaboration as tight as we can is, I think, good for everybody. So
Yes.
Jeff, thank you for supporting that.
Yes.
Most definitely.
Yeah. And unfortunately, again, we don't have the coursework lined up yet. But I have, I feel that I have a good relationship with Nick Dodonna and with Matt Braxic, and those are both people who have been teaching video production courses. Oh, and then Matt had said, he had mentioned, and I thought this could be really cool, depending on, again, the equipment we get. But he said that they've got some mirrorless cameras and some gimbals. And of course, I was like, ooh, can we use them for a football game? So I thought that would be really cool to get some, sideline footage or whatever, even if somebody like ran down to stand in the end zone to, just have a student videographer on the turf to kind of run around and get those close-up shots that we can't get from up in the stands. So I will be, again, and it's funny because, and I totally get it. I'm like, listen, if you're ever in the summer and, I get it. Teachers do not want to be in the building in the summer if they don't have to. I don't blame them. But, so they, and again, I know that Nick, you and I had spoken, Kate, and Nick had sent me his proposal for advanced courses. Mike Hoggett had mentioned that I think he had proposed that for the 25-26 school year. And then I am not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that the high school is getting, I think they're going to hire a new tech ed teacher. I believe they were allocated 2 new staff people in this year's budget. And I know one of them was going to help cover the personal finance requirement. And then the other one, I think, was going to be tech ed.
Nice, okay.
I don't have any specifics yet.
One thing I was just thinking about when you were talking about that, the area that they're going to use if they do the morning announcements, does that need any updates or changes for it to be serviceable? I'm thinking like data connections, Wi-Fi. Do we know of any? I know it's been quite a while since they did it, but I'm assuming you'd use that green screen area that we were sitting at.
Right. We have, because we have, we've got the black curtain, we've got the green screen wall, and then we also have the green screen backdrop, which is a little cleaner. I don't know yet right now. I don't know if the studio needs anything. I would presume that if we did, that would be part of that studio TLC quote.
Okay. Yeah, I was just thinking ahead, that's all.
I'm going to make a note to send you that quote. I don't know if I already did or not, but I know I remember they had some they wanted to update some UPS.
I believe you did. They were going to update the switches in there, I think, with more modern switches to handle the video traffic and stuff.
Right. I know that in the studio we can get on the athletics network, which tends to be a little less occupied during the day than the teacher BYOD. So that's what I tend to default to. My equipment defaults to that. But I haven't noticed anything, but we also haven't been streaming. I think that's one of those things that may not, we may not know until kids are actually in there doing things. But the thing, I'm sorry.
If we have to update the wireless in there, it's not a big deal because of the location of it. I mean, we can definitely put an access point or something in there if need be.
Okay,
Let's keep that conversation going because, it sounds like Todd really wants to make sure that these daily announcements happen at some frequency. So we want to make sure we're, Jeff and the station are into, because that would be a lot of great visibility, just for what we're capable of doing.
Definitely.
Awesome.
And both of the and again, both Nick and Matt have been super supportive about looping people in. Like I know Matt before the end of the year brought his students in just to show them the studio. And again, it's all I didn't know this was here. And he, again, he was kind enough to let me give my little, we hire student videographers, and the student did come down to express some interest. I haven't heard back, but again, it's summer. So,
all right. Well, thank you, Jeff, for bringing that up and making sure we're collaborating. Okay. Okay. So you're going to talk to Katie. We talked about that. THS. Anything else? Okay. Any other topics we need to discuss that are out there. Our next meeting is not till the end of July, and then we have one the very beginning of September. So this would be the time, if we've got anything that we, you know, easier to do when school's not in session, we should be doing it.
Yeah, the only thing I need to do is just request that custodial move the tables and desks back because we were used as an AP test site, so.
Wow,
Yeah,
talk about using every inch of space.
oh,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Well, I'm sure they'll take care of that. Now that the.
Now the
everything else has calmed
graduation
down.
is done,
it's
yeah.
done. Okay, so anybody have anything else?
Nope.
Good,
Nothing
all
I can
right,
think of.
geez, we did a good job here, it's 8:31. All right, I'm gonna call the meeting adjourned at 8:31. Thank you all for making it, I appreciate us having a quorum, have a lovely hot couple of days, and we'll see you in July. Thank you, Bill,
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Yeah.
bye.
All right, thank you.